Hi, welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're going to be talking about the Roberts GT 501 knee kicker, and just to see the differences or comparison of how it holds up to the gel Roberts 505, the Crain. Let's see what number this is. I don't even know what number this is. I've had this one for years. Looks like 612 maybe. Anyway, I don't even know. I've had it for years, so my numbers wore off. But we're going to do some comparison with the Crain and the two Roberts knee kickers and gives you the ups and downs of them. I've done knee kicker videos before whenever I got this one here a while back. So I got this one here now. Somebody actually asked me to do a review on it. So here we go. We're going to talk about it, and I tell you one thing right off the bat. As soon as I pulled this kicker, as soon as I pulled this out of the box, I was like, oh my goodness, this feels awesome. Okay, my whole life, I mean my whole life up until I got this Roberts kicker right here with the gel pad on it, my whole life I have always used a Crain kicker. So I mean, that's saying something. They're a good, well-made kicker. They last a long time. People told me these things are going to fall apart and stuff like that. Thus far, I am extremely happy with this gel kicker, Roberts 505 Gel Pro. I really like it, and I use it. I break it out all the time if I'm doing carpet. It is my go-to kicker. Unfortunately, my Crain has just been sitting on my shelf and taking up space. This is my go-to kicker now. But I have to say, like I said a while ago, just as soon as I pulled this thing out of the box, I said, oh my goodness, it felt awesome. This is probably the best feeling kicker that I've ever had, I've ever put my hands on. This kicker feels so good in your hand. This one right here has got the little bit square right around through here like that. It's a little square feeling. This one right here is pretty much the same way, only it's bigger. Let's take a look at that right here. It's kind of bigger, and they got the rubber back here on it. I don't know, I don't even think I have my hand this far back on it. I'm usually up closer to the head of my kicker whenever I'm kicking on it, so all the force is down here on the head. So that is good about the Crain kicker for sure. But let's check it out. See how wide this bad boy is. So across the top of the kicker, we are looking at about 1 3/8 inches. So that's how that feels in your hand right there. Now across the top of this one right here where I hold my hand, it's about 1 5/8 inches. So it definitely is a little fatter, a little beefier, a little bulkier, a little more chunky, if you will say. It just feels beefier in your hand. You can see how this tapers up right there and gets really wide on that right there. So it definitely feels beefier on this kicker. However, this kicker right here, this new kicker, it's just kind of almost rounded right there. It's square, but at the same time it's rounded. It's like they took the edges off of it. And again, this one right here is about 1 3/8 inches wide. So it is about the same thickness as my Crain kicker. Maybe that's why it feels so good in my hand, because I've always had a Crain kicker. But with this edges right here being rounded and not square at all, this feels extremely, I mean extremely good in your hand. I want to check out the height difference in this too. Okay, so while we're in the process of this video, if you're getting value out of this, if it's helping you out whatsoever, or if it's just straight up entertainment, smash that like button real quick. So from here, the base here, I'm going to set them on this box right here. That way we can see what's going on here. Get a nice flat surface here, and I'm going to do some measuring. Now, so we got, one thing you might say is, Ruben, why you always do kicker videos and stuff like that in your bedroom? It's the only carpet I got in my house, so this is where I have to do them at if I'm showing a knee kicker or something like that. So y'all forgive me for hanging out in the bedroom with me. Anyway, let's take a look right here. This is from the surface of that. It is 1 7/8 inches high. Okay, so from the floor to the top, to the bottom part of your bar is 1 7/8 inches high. And let's check out the Crain kicker. It's definitely not that high. It don't look like anyway. It don't appear to be that high. We'll go, oops. Right here we are, yeah, we're not. We're like 1 3/8 inches high on that right there. So that's how high the Crain kicker sets off the floor for your hand right there. Now this one here definitely does not go that high. Well, I might be a little bit mistaken there. It sure didn't look like it was that high. Let's see what we got right there. Okay, so that's just about 1.5 inches for the gel Pro kicker, the 505 for the Roberts. About 1.5 inches. So that's the height differences from here to here. The main factor that I absolutely love about this kicker, and I'm going to stand them up and I'll show you guys here in just a second. So this kicker, my Crain kicker, shortened all the way up, is 17.25 inches is what it is from the nose all the way down to the bottom of the bumper. That's shortened up 17.25 inches. The 505 Pro Gel Pro that I got here a while back, the Roberts one, I think it was just a little bit longer in the last video. Yeah, so this is 17.75 from the top of the headpiece down to the bumper. 17.75 on that one. That's where that one starts out. Let's go with this one right here and see what this is. And it is 18 and 5/8 to be exact is what this gold kicker is. So that's definitely a plus right off the bat, having that extra bit of length. Now let's stretch them out and see how far they stretch out. Okay, so my Crain kicker is stretched all the way out, and let's see how far it goes. And we are at 21.25 inches is the complete length from nose to bumper on my Crain kicker. Let's stretch this bad boy out. My Gel Pro 505 Roberts knee kicker. This is stretched all the way out, and it is 21.75. Okay, so that's pretty close to the same length. It was about 1/8 of an inch off, I think. Or what did I say that was? 21.25. So there's about a 1/2 inch difference right there in those two lengths. And if you ask me, length is better for sure. And here we go right here. This one has already got it beat. I know it does. Looky here. This is 23.75. So from Crain, I've been 21.25 to 23.75. You got 2 extra inches. Is that right? Yeah, 2 extra inches of length on this Roberts kicker right here, which is awesome. The more adjustment that you have from here to here is only better, okay? Because you can get in little tight spots where you need it to be all the way shortened up, like so. So if you could make it even right here and just have enough for your hand and then adjust it out more, because look at the adjustment on these. So this 6 inches right here, or whatever it is. So from there to the adjustment part that comes out is actually 5.25 inches. So that only takes up that much of the handle. You know what I'm saying? So we still got all this handle that could be adjustment inside there. So if you ask me, the more adjustment the better. I think they should all be adjusted out more and been able to be made short. The adjustment in the knee kickers is what makes the knee kicker, if you ask me. One little feature about this new GT 501 by Roberts is the right here is the button that you push right there to shrink it up and down. It don't have one here on your thumb, or it don't have it under here like the Crain was. So it does take 2 hands to do that. Might be a little inconvenient, but I tell you what, I'll take that minor inconvenience for the comfortability, or however you would say it, for it being so daggone comfortable. I'm telling you, this is by all means the most comfortable kicker I've ever had my hands on. I'm not just saying that, I mean that. That is serious. Also, check this out. Here's another important factor. So all of these kickers right here are square. Even the other Roberts are square right there where it adjusts in and out right there. See that? It's square here. Slides in there square. My other Crain kicker is the same way. It's square right here where it slides in and out. But This one right here is round. Look at that. It's like a stretcher pole. Hear that? That is smooth. That's gonna keep that to stay smooth without any wiggle for a long time. The thing about these are, and it's the same way with old stretchers, so because it is square right here where it goes in and out, if these edges get wore down and stuff like this on this bit of square stuff, it starts getting wobbly and a little bit loose. This round is not going to get walled out like that because it is round and it slides straight in and out like that, so it don't have any edges on it to get walled out, wore down, or anything like that. So I think this is going to stay smooth action for a really long time before it starts getting walled out and wore out. And listen to this, you guys. You gotta. I'm gonna get kind of close so you can hear this. Listen to this. I don't know if you can hardly hear that or not. That is such a tight feeling. It's not hard to turn at all, but it just feels nice and tight. It sounds nice and tight. Sounds very well made. And let's check out the teeth on this bad boy. Look at the spikes on that kicker right there. They are extremely sharp. They definitely go to a finer point than either one of the other kickers. I mean, look at that, man. Those are crazy sharp. They definitely go to a finer point. Let's check out another one. So this is the other Roberts kicker, and they are even more blunt than that one there. So they're not even as pointy, you might say. They're definitely not as sharp. You know, these and the new kicker here go to a finer point. So these here on this new kicker definitely goes, I mean, the taper on the needles or on the teeth looks like they start back closer to the kicker and actually get more of a taper on the point rather than it being blunt and then the end of it just been tapered. Let's look at the Crain. Now y'all understand, I've had this thing for years. So look at the teeth on them. They're like really fat and they only have a point, okay? But like I said, I've had this thing for years. They are still really sharp. So we got the length, we got the super sharp, super tapered teeth. I mean, you got like let's see here. Whoa, that just rolled over my leg and got me. So the taper from being full width of the spike down to the taper, this one actually starts tapering down. You got a 1/2 inch taper, okay? So from here, from the base of the tooth to where it starts tapering, it tapers down from the full thickness down to the point is a 1/2 inch taper, okay? Let's check out the taper on these right here and see. I've never actually looked at this on any other kicker before. Dang, that looks like about 3/16. About 3/16 of an inch taper on my Crain kicker, which is old, so that may not be accurate. I want to check out this other Roberts kicker and just see if it is the same way. I've never, like I said, I've never examined one like this before. Okay, so this is a 1/2 inch taper as well. Anyway, we got a 1/2 inch taper on the Roberts teeth and a 3/16 taper on the Crain kicker. Now, let's check this out here. Oh yeah, that right there feels really good. I've already done the other Roberts and I've already done the other Crain and stuff like that. But I gotta say, man, just a couple inches of extra length right there, that makes a huge difference. Okay, I've always been a Roberts trimmer guy, okay? I've always, my entire career, have had Roberts carpet trimmers. However, up until I just got this, I have always been a Crain kicker guy and a Crain stretcher guy until my last set of stretchers I got Roberts. I don't know what's going on, but I'm more and more and more I'm going to Roberts tools. I'm sold on the kickers, okay? These two Roberts kickers right here definitely feel better by all means than my traditional Crain kicker, which this is the only style of the Crain kicker I've ever had. I've not tried other ones. I've only had that particular kind my entire career. But the feel of both of these right here, especially this one, like I said a while ago, this is the best feeling knee kicker I've ever had my hands on, okay? And the pad on this thing, let's check out the thickness of the pad. It looks even thinner than the one on the Crain kicker. So this is an 1 3/4 bumper on this one. I've never been a fat pad guy. I've always liked the thin ones. Okay, so the one on my Crain is a 2-inch bumper. Let's check out the other one here. It's thin too. It's an 1 3/4 too. Okay, so the Roberts bumpers right here are definitely thinner than the other. Definitely thinner than the one on the Crains. Okay, so something I wanted to test out here. I don't know what difference it makes, because in all of my, I guess about 28 years now that I've been installing flooring, I've never had to lay my kicker over my stretcher pole, which you can see that one don't get it. Okay, it's not high enough from here to here, so it's not going to fly. Other people say, oh, will it reach over your stretcher pole? I don't know. They might get in some weird position or something where they feel like they need to. However, I have never. This one here does not work. You can see that. And this is the first time I've tried this, so I don't know myself. We're going to see here. Okay, look at there. That one definitely will fit over. I guess if a person needed to, you could kick over your stretcher pole. I don't know how that would come in handy, but it does work, okay? Like I said, I've never come into that situation to where I have had to put my knee kicker over the stretcher poles for any reason whatsoever. But I guess some people, I guess it does matter to some people that it does fit over a pole. So I definitely wanted to point that out. You can definitely stretch over your pole with that. One thing else I wanted to compare was the width of the headpiece. I want to see how wide they are. And I do want to point out also that it does have the groove in it right there that allows you to stick this groove on the front of all your kickers, go on the little notch on your stretcher headpiece. So if you need to bump your stretcher head around or something, that groove fits right there in that, and this kicker does as well have that. One thing I forgot to check, and I want to check on the size of these headpieces right here that actually have the teeth on them. I want to check all the sizes of all three of these and just see which one is biggest, because obviously that is going to make an important that's going to be a good point, and is definitely going to be better the bigger. So this Crain is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So this is a straight 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 square is what the size of the headpiece is on the Crain kicker here. Okay, let's check this other one right here, this Gel Pro 505. Let's check it out. I'm going to go from here, and we are 4 1/4, and it's probably going to be the same thing, it looks like. Yeah, 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. Okay, so they might all be the same. I don't know. I've never checked these out. Oh, okay. So we got a 1/4 inch difference here. This one is 4 and actually it's a little more. This is 4 5/8 by okay, so it's 4 1/4. 4 1/4 this way. Across it is 4 5/8. So anyway, my choice of kickers out of all three of these, again, Roberts just keeps impressing me, man. I'll tell you what, the Roberts kickers have stolen my heart. I will be, like I said a while ago, I've always been a Roberts carpet trimmer guy. Now I'm going to be a Roberts knee kicker guy. These are going to be my kickers of choice. Both of these, this one here and this one here, definitely feels better than this Crain kicker here. Now, only time will tell if it holds up like the Crain kickers. I've had this Crain kicker for years, and I want to say I've only had 2 more, maybe 1 more. I can't be, I'd have to think about that for a minute. It's just spot on right here. But I've only had 2 or 3 of these my entire career. These things last so long. So like I said, only time will tell if these Roberts will hold up as long as the Crain. But for comfortability, for the being comfortable and stuff like that, this one right here, the GT 501 knee kicker, is by all means the most comfortable kicker I've ever had my hands on. Tell me down in the comments, which knee kicker do you use, and how long have you had it? That way we can know. And people that read through the comments can pull information, can pull knowledge out of it if they're wanting to buy one or whatever like that. Instead of just taking my word for it, they can scroll through them comments and get a wide variety of opinions and facts and stuff from you guys as well. So definitely leave a comment. What kind of kicker do you have, and how long have you had it? Until next time, FBSB's out.
Thank you.